Welcome back, everybody, to the Bears Baseball Network, and what a massive weekend for the Bears this weekend. 7 different Bears teams played for a championship this weekend, played in the championship game. It was a monster weekend from top to bottom in the Bears organization. And let's get it started with 12U Floyd. They went 4-0 this weekend and took the tournament very handily. Monster weekend from Liam Schreiber. He reclaims the home run crown. He is now 1 ahead of Vince Dalton. He had a very monster weekend along with Logan Meyer, Jacob Mon, and Landon Meyer. They all had an OPS over 1,500, leading 12U Floyd to that championship. 14U Dalton, they went 5-0 this weekend and took a championship victory. They were absolutely dominant this weekend. The big hitters for them, these guys had an OPS over 1,600 on the weekend. Landon Nickerson, Jack Roberts, Jackson Dormeyer, Vince Dalton, and Jack Dalton. They were all monstrous this weekend in a nice dominant tournament for Dalton. How about 12U Kreitler? They're our third-level 12U team. They took the tournament victory this weekend, going 3-1 on the weekend. It was not easy for them. Going into the championship game in the last inning, they were down 13-10. They rallied back, and Joe Gunter hit the walk-off single. Top 15 Bears prospect Joe Gunter. He also hit a walk-off in their pool play game on Friday. So 2 walk-offs in the weekend from Joe Gunter. He also got the win on the mound in the championship game. What a monster weekend for him. Some other guys on 12U Kreitler with an OPS over 1,400. Dylan Graham, Brennan Thompson, Sam Dunn, and Nathan Griesaber. What a great weekend for the boys on 12U Kreitler. 14U Williams, second place last weekend, first place this weekend. A monster weekend for the boys on 14U Williams. Ethan Mon led the way with the highest OPS on the team. Some other guys with an OPS over 1,000. Jackson Graham, Jacob Dollar, and Hunter Lotsbeck. All with an OPS over 1,000. It was a fantastic weekend for the Bears. Those are our tournament winners. 8U Nickerson, they finished their youth prep season, and they took second place in their tournament. It was a fantastic weekend for them. 13U Floyd took second place, and 11U Floyd as well took second place on the weekend. Speaking of 8U Nickerson, they concluded their season. The youth prep season ends a little bit earlier than everybody else. Obviously, these youth prep boys just getting into the Bears over the past year, and I could not be more proud of our 8U and 10U guys. 7 through 10U is all youth prep, and a fantastic year for all of them. They all worked very, very hard, and to see how far they've come from last fall when they all joined the Bears to get where they were this past summer. It was a fantastic turnaround, and I'm excited, especially for our 10U guys who all graduate to our Bears youth program. That'll be fantastic to see those boys at 11U, and obviously for the rest of our youth prep guys, it's going to be exciting to see them continue to develop. But we have our youth prep All-Americans, our first and second team All-Americans, and these go to some of the best players in our youth prep program. So first up, our youth prep first team All-Americans. First baseman Harrison Blabaum kicks things off. He had 3 home runs this year, a monster year for Harrison Blabaum. He's going to be a home run leader at some point in his career in the Bears. You've heard me talk about him before on the show. Another guy who could be a future home run leader, Sully Lydon. He's 10U Floyd's third baseman. He is a first-team All-American. He hit 3 home runs this year as well. Brody Wilburn, catcher for 10U Floyd, first-team All-American. Middle infielder / pitcher Owen Lewis, first-team All-American. And pitcher George McKinley, first-team All-American. Those are all from 10U Floyd. From 7-8U Nickerson, Nash Waring, he's an outfielder. He's first-team All-American. Third baseman Blake Nickerson, first-team All-American. Alex Hockmuth is their first baseman. He's first-team All-American. And Easton Taylor, outfielder, first-team All-American. Our youth prep second-team All-Americans, Connor Justice, pitcher for 10U Floyd. Ryan Frazier, pitcher and outfielder for 10U Floyd. And Connor Burks, outfielder for 10U Floyd. Second-team All-Americans for 8U Nickerson, Henry Wolf, Ryan Marciniak, Henry Weil, and Hudson Graham. Henry Weil, shortstop, the other 3 outfielders. So congratulations all those guys, our first and second team youth prep All-Americans, and excited to see how they're going to do when they pick up back in the fall. They're just going to keep getting better. Love seeing our youth prep guys. Obviously, this is where we build our big future Bears stars, so very nice to see. Moving in, this weekend, our home runs, a ton of Bear home runs this weekend, and nobody hit more than Liam Schreiber. He hit 3 home runs, and once again moves 1 spot ahead of Vince Dalton in the home run race. He's got 14 on the year. Vince Dalton hit 2 to move his total up to 13 this weekend. Landon Nickerson hit 2 this weekend, along with Jack Roberts, Sully Lydon, and Nayo Guzman. They all had 2 this weekend. Here's all the guys who hit 1. It's a long list, so get ready. Harrison Blabaum hit 1. Dylan Graham hit 1. Brennan Thompson hit 1. Elliot Myers, Eric Latrania, Isaac Vetter, Sam Dollins, Brendan Bass, Jack Dalton, Santiago Story, Tegan Kryler, and Jackson Dormeyer, all with 1 home run on the weekend. A ton of Bears home runs, a ton of Bears extra base hits. You're going to want to check it all out on this week's edition of Hackin' Time.
That's my fam, I'll hold them down forever. Us against the world, we can battle whoever. Together ain't no way we gon' fail. You know I got your back, just like a turtle shell. Nobody do it better. All my brothers tryna get some cheddar. We all wanna cut like the shredder. Me and my bros come together for the dough. Bought the orange Lamborghini, call it Michelangelo. With the nunchuck dough, and I'm pulling up slow. When we fall up in the party, they know anything goes. Shake my Rolex, it say I'm the man of the hour. All this green in my pockets, you can call it turtle power. When we fight together, knock knock, you about to get shell shocked. When we ride together, knock knock, you about to get shell shocked. When we fight together, knock knock, you about to get shell shocked. We can better any weather, knock knock, you about to get shell shocked. Ain't nothing that could come in between me and my brothers. We all around if it's going down. It's just us, all for one. Yeah, you hearin' right, our business done. We disappear into the night. Came up together, so we all down for the fight. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Family ain't nothing strong as that. And I'll be posting where the strong is at. Brothers by my side, city on my back. Real heroes, that's what the people want. They ain't born, gotta create them. Saying we gone soon as we save them. That's part of the plan. By my side, I'ma keep my brothers. Live or die, man, we need each other. When we fight together, knock knock, you about to get shell shocked. When we ride together, knock knock, you about to get shell shocked. When we fight together, knock knock, you about to get shell shocked. We can better any weather, knock knock, you about to get. Try to tell them you don't wanna go to war with us. We beat them, young riders, raised in the gutter, really started from the bottom. Hey, we all we ever had, we all we ever needed, and we undefeated. We be going hard and make it look easy. Give me the whole pie, real cheesy. I told your girl no, but you might not believe me. She taking pictures for me, told her smile for me. Pass her off, I'm a real team player. Bandana on my face like a gangster. Knock knock, you about to get shell shocked. Knock knock, you about to get shell shocked. Knock knock, you about to get shell shocked. Knock knock, you about to get shell shocked.
Yeah!
Woo! Woo!
Yeah!
Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. We've got studs being studs, my favorite segment on the Bears Baseball Network. And we each got 4 guys who are some studs who are playing like studs. And Bernie, I'll let you go first. Give me your first stud being a stud.
My first one, we're going to go to 14U Dalton. We've talked about him a little bit recently. It's going to be Landon Nickerson. the 12U kid that's playing on 14U. Leads Dalton OPS in June. He's first in home runs, I believe it was 4. And he's a big power bat who's only struck out 3 times this entire month and drawn 10 walks. It's a great ratio, and he's just been raking for Dalton this month so far.
Yeah, he's been an absolute monster for that Dalton squad. I'm going to stick with 14U Dalton. I'm going to go with, on the pitching side, Evan Osborne. This guy's a guy I love preseason. He was my dark horse pick for Cy Young. And anybody who was looking at the Cy Young race before the season, Evan Osborne was not in a lot of people's minds. But if you've gone out and watched him pitch, he is absolutely dominant. I had somebody come up to me this weekend and tell me that he thought Evan Osborne is the best pitcher he's seen at his age. Now, I don't know if I'd go that far, but he has certainly been an absolute beast. He leads Dalton, all the Dalton qualifiers in ERA with a 2.57, in strikeouts with 41, and over his last 2 starts, he's got 11 Ks to just 1 walk with a 1.55 ERA across 9 innings. This guy's been a beast, and he's only getting better as the season has gone on. If you remember, he just missed out on our April All-Star team. He was a May All-Star, and he might just be the June Cy Young. So this guy, not only has he been fantastic, but he's gotten better as the season's gone on. Evan Osborne has been fantastic. Bernie, give me your next stud being a stud.
We're going to go all down to 11U Floyd. We're going to go with ZZ Garcia. Now, this was a guy that we had on our prospect list, number 1 prospect in the Bears. You know, he was a kid who was on 11U Burn, put up massive numbers on Burn, but could he do it on Floyd? I'm going to read off some stats here and keep up. This is his June Floyd stats on 11U Floyd, where he ranks on the team. 2nd in runs, 2nd in doubles, 2nd in hits, 1st in slugging percentage, 1st in OPS, 1st in on base, 1st in average, and 1st in stolen bases. On 11U Floyd, he's already fast-tracked, I think, to becoming a top player on 11U Floyd, and he's just going off this month.
Yeah, what a monster. Again, those are his 11U Floyd rankings. He's been a top 2 player on 11U Floyd this month, and a guy who was just a couple months ago just kind of guy that we're all dreaming on, a guy that could be a superstar, and ZZ is becoming a superstar in front of our eyes. We'll see if he can keep things going. I'm going to go with another guy who is on our prospect list, Bernie. He was a top 5 prospect for us, and it's Jacob Mon. Very similar to ZZ. He was a guy who, what could he do if he really got a shot on 12U Floyd? Well, these are his 12U Floyd ranks. He is 5th in batting average, 4th in OPS, 1st in OBP, and 4th in doubles. So not quite as good as ZZ, but a top 5 player for 12U Floyd, and we know how great that 12U Floyd lineup has been. Jacob Mon has really started to get some more at-bats because he's earned them, and he's taken full advantage of it. He's been a top 5 hitter for 12U Floyd in the month of June. I'm excited to see if he can keep things rolling. All right, Bernie, your next stud being a stud.
I'm going to give us our first high school player on this segment. Give me Alex Hobson from 15U Burnsville. So far this season, he's 1st in OPS in all of high school with the minimum at bats. He has a home run, and on the other side of the ball, he's 3rd in high school in innings pitched and 3rd in high school with the ERA. If guys are above 15 innings, so guys with basically substantial innings, and he's on every side of the ball so far this season.
Yeah, been a great 2-way player for that 15U Burnsville team. Really been a superstar for them. I am going to head back to the pitcher side. You know I love my pitchers, Bernie. I'm going to go with another guy who I endorsed hard in the preseason, and a guy who I feel like has kind of fallen under the radar of how good he's actually been. It's 11U Floyd player Josh Tallier. This is in the month of June. He leads all qualifiers on 11U Floyd in ERA, WHIP, and strikeouts. He's got a 2.62 ERA, a 1.00 WHIP, and 13 strikeouts to just 4 walks in 8 1/3 innings pitched in the month of June. This is another guy, man, where last year he was on 11U Burn, and he actually had the highest strikeout percentage of any pitcher in the Bears organization. Now, that also came along with a ton of walks, and we all thought, man, if Josh could find the strike zone more consistently, what could he do on a top team? Well, he started to do so. 13 strikeouts to just 4 walks, and he's been dominant on the mound for the 11U Floyd team. And it's an 11U Floyd team with a lot of good pitchers who are all fighting for innings. And Josh has really done a great job to be this consistent and earn those innings. Fantastic job by Josh Tallier. Bernie, you've got one more for us. Let's hear it.
Last one, 12U Floyd. I've said it multiple times. I think he is the best youth hitter in the Bears. Give me Liam Schreiber. This is all for the month of June again. He leads all varsity teams in OPS. He's up around that 1.8 range. This month he has 16 hits. 16 hits, 13 extra base hits. So this guy, every hit he's getting is basically just an extra base hit. Double, triple, home run, whatever it may be. And he has 5 home runs this month, which I did predict this guy to lead the Bears in home runs this month, and I think with 1 week to go, he is in the lead.
He is in the lead, and I'll tell you what, Bernie, in the championship game this weekend, he was a single off of the cycle. He went 3 for 3 with a double-triple homer. He missed the cycle by a single. How crazy is that? That's how good he's been, how locked in he's been in the month of June. He's been a monster. I'm going to go with a guy who was a sleeper for me preseason, and another guy who's kind of a big prospect. You know, what could he do on a top team? It's Chase Acker. This guy has been a top 3 or 4 hitter for 16U Floyd so far. He's 3rd in OPS, 4th in batting average, and 2nd in OBP. This is a guy who's extremely raw and is only going to have this trajectory for the rest of his baseball career. And it's crazy that he's already putting up very good numbers so far. And not to mention, his defense has come a long way. You know, he's a catcher, and a catcher who was very, very raw last year, you know, had a lot of pass balls, but he's really turned into a very good catcher on a pitching staff with some pitchers who are not the easiest to catch. You know, Elliot Myers is on that pitching staff, and everything he throws moves. So he's not the easiest to catch, and Chase Acker has done a fantastic job on both the offensive and defensive side for this team. Chase Acker, man, I mean, keep watching this guy. He's a guy who, great family, great kid, hard worker, and he's only going to get better. I'm excited to see what he does the rest of the season. That's going to do it for this episode of the Bears Baseball Network. It is going to be another hot weekend this weekend, so make sure to go out, get something to drink, and watch all of your favorite Bear action. That's going to do it, though. We'll talk to y'all next week.